My name is Paul Saxberg. I am making an intro video for myself and to explain a contest I have entered. So, let's launch right into it. I feel like there should be a splash screen here, but since there isn't one, I'm going to jump right into it. So, who am I? I am a game designer. Probably the only place you're likely to have heard of me from is a game I've got coming out by 8th Summit Games. I believe it'll be in August of 2015. It's called Coven, and I think you can actually still pre-order it from their site right now. We just finished a Kickstarter from it. Additionally, I am a FalCon ambassador. FalCon is in Calgary, Alberta, which I'm from. It's in October. It's our local sort of premier board game convention, and I'm in charge of the designer stream there, so I would love to see you guys come join us, especially if you're a publisher or a designer yourself. But if you're not, if you're just a gamer, well, that's fantastic. We've got a library of over 1,000 games for you to come play. Come join us. So why I'm here today is I've entered a competition by the DFW Nerd Nighters. You can follow the hashtag DFWNN to catch all the other people doing these vlogs and design updates about that. And for anyone not familiar with it, the concept is they send you a box of components, and it's going to look like this. It's full of various components. You make a game out of it. You document the game design process. You send them a video. You send them the rules, and they decide on the winner of the game. There's also some really awesome sponsors on board. First of all, being Panda Manufacturing, who supplies this, but there's all sorts of great. There's Mayfair. There's too many for me to list. So please go to the website and check it out. Now, if you're already in the know, we're going to skip now to the part that's interesting to you. So it's my understanding that part of the purpose of this vlog is they want to get an insight into the design process of everybody who's doing this. Normally, I would keep that stuff totally, close to the chest, the cards hidden. This is going to be an interesting experience for me, also because I've never done a video vlog before, so that's also new. But what I'll do is I'll run quickly through the Panda kit. Now, just before we do that, this is not actually the Panda kit I'm receiving from the Nerd Nighters. That's still in the mail. However, as witnessed by the unboxing videos a couple of other people have done, I can tell it's the same kind of kit that's been given out at a number of conventions in the past, including at FalCon. They sent us 3 dozen of these to give out to designers, and we very graciously provided them. And I can tell there's a couple of small differences between mine that I have now and the ones I've seen in the unboxing video. So I'll just highlight those for anybody who hasn't yet received theirs. I think you can probably expect to see everything you've seen in the video the way it is. What you'll probably see different, my coins that I have are a little bit different, so I don't know what the ones I'm going to get look like yet. They probably won't be these two, so if you see these two in my final game, you know I'm cheating. But I'm gonna throw those away for now because they're actually not part of my design at the moment. It seems like they give everybody a little different miniature. This is the one I've got now, but it's not the one that's in my final kit, most likely. And I've lost track of my gems. I gave a little bag of gems. Mine were red in the Over's previous kit, but I've also seen blue and yellow ones that some people have had, so who knows what color I'll end up with. Pretty much the rest of the stuff seems standard as near as I can tell, so I'm doing my pre-design based on that. So if it turns out when my kit gets here something's different, then I'll have to back up a step and fix whatever is different. And now, most of the components people have already discussed. People have already gone over them, so I'm just going to discuss sort of the interesting thoughts I've had about a couple of them. And of course, one of the quests is, how are you going to use a component in some way that other people haven't already thought of to use it? And the first couple of thoughts I had upon watching other people's vlogs, they've totally already thought of that. So it's hard to be creative when there's 24 brilliant design teams on the same problem, all trying to find the same kinds of solution. Their solutions are going to start to look like each other after a while. But I had a couple of thoughts that I haven't seen addressed yet. And one of them is this. It's this little cardboard chit thing that comes with the design kit, and it's to demonstrate what punch-out pieces you can get from Panda. And it comes with a little Panda chit, which is kind of cute. Notice there's a lot of Panda-themed games already, because there's like 6 different Panda components in this thing. And then, of course, there's the tile, which is the same sort of thing. But, of course, if you discard both of those, that leaves you with this, the original cardboard cutout piece. And that's a very specific shape. It's about the size of a playing card, and so I was thinking about using it as possibly a window, like if there was a network of various playing cards, you could move this around it, revealing a different part of a chart, depending on where it was oriented. So that was one thought I had. The other thought I had was, it's kind of about the size of a finger, so like I was thinking about possibly making some sort of a dexterity game involving shooting things through there, but none of my inspirations along those lines seem to have had a lot of fruit. So at the moment, this is not part of my plans. And the other weird thought I had is it comes with this awesome little bag for components. And I've already seen that a couple of people don't like it because of the velvet finish on it. It's uncomfortable on the fingers, but to me, I just adore this little bag. But I'm going to horrify all of you because my first thought upon looking at this was, I could take it apart. There's a string here. I could just cut through there, pull out this string, and use it for something. I don't know what. The thing is, what is string used for? Usually it's used to connect things to each other. There isn't a lot of stuff in this kit that could really properly be sewed together, or think of a reason why it would need to be sewed together. Really, the most practical inspiration I've had for it so far is either some sort of a dexterity game involving like fishing, where you're picking things up. And there are a couple of magnets that hold this together, so that was an interesting notion, but the magnets are, I don't know if you can see that, but they're little small circular things embedded in the box, and I have to take the box apart, and I have to find some way to attach them, and you're not allowed to use tape or glue or anything like that, so that seems like possibly a dead-end chain of ideas. And the only other thought I had for the string was, it might possibly be usable as a measuring device, like is sometimes used in tabletop war games with miniatures. I could make this be like the measuring stick, and so if my other ideas don't work out, you might see a tabletop miniatures game out of here, which is going to be interesting because there's only like 3 miniatures to come with it: the Mice and Meeple's mouse, the funky little panda meeple, and I've lost track of my little blue guy. So it's going to be a very small miniatures game if I go that way. None of those are currently my plan. Those are just some of my initial thoughts, because apparently we're supposed to document those. And so this is kind of a interesting thing. And actually, if there's any designers out there who are inspired by that, power to you. I don't think your game's going to look like mine. I don't think my game's going to look like yours. So I think we use the same components. There's no fouls there, in my opinion. The first couple of prototypes I've tried to make, I've already tried to make, and the reason they're not documented in real time is because this is my first vlog I've ever done. This is a brand new computer. I've never tried to do this before, so this is an experiment adventure, and I apologize for the dorkiness of my general appearance and all that, and hopefully I'll get better with experience, but you're watching a virgin go through his first time here, so be gentle. So, the other thing the kit comes with, amongst the other things the kit comes with, of course, there's the dice and the stand to use, and there's some funky little components, a beautiful little brick here, like you'd get in Euphoria, or the treasure chest from Stonemaier Games, a regular brick, and some discs, and the rule book. I was thinking about using the rule book like a tent in ink and gold, but again, that's not the plan. These are, and you see I've written on this one already, they comes with 3 tuck boxes, each of which contains 25 cards. There's 3 distinct types of cards inside the Great Core to demo to customers what sort of cards you might want in your game if you get it manufactured by them. But of course, what occurred to me is this, the tuck box, is part of the contents of the box, and therefore it is fair game. We can do something with it. And I thought this was a totally original thought on my part, of course, naive me. Then upon looking through the various other contestants, I've already found one other guy who's thinking about doing something with these. That would be Gary Dahl of Sugar Pill Studios. He's got a little blog on Board Game Geek. It's an interesting little read, and he thinks they look like monsters going to eat something, which I can totally see. That makes sense to me. So I don't have the originality being the only guy using them, but I do have a completely different idea as to what to do with them. When I first looked at this, I thought, what does a tuck box do? What is its functionality? And its functionality is to hold stuff in it. But what else does it do? Well, I mean, any container can hold stuff in it. This holds stuff in it. This holds stuff in it. But what is the purpose of this in most games? In most games, the purpose is as a randomizer. If you had tiles or dice or something like that in there, and you're pulling random ones out, and the reason this works for that is because it conceals the contents. This also conceals the contents, and I thought, okay, well, that's kind of interesting. So this allows you to have a pile of concealed cards in it. Well, that still wasn't actually interesting enough to be unique in its own way, because a pile of cards sitting on the table is also a concealed pile of cards. Although this just conceals them a little bit more. But then I realized something. This allows you to manipulate the concealed pile of cards in ways that you can't do with an actual pile of cards on the table. Let's try a little bit a different angle there. Hopefully in the future experience we'll have this problem fixed in future videos. I thought there are 3 of them, and they all look exactly like each other. This is a shell game waiting to happen. There could be something inside one of these boxes that isn't inside the other boxes, and bang, bang, bang. So my first thought then was, there's 75 cards in the game. I'd been already kicking around some ideas about drafting, and I thought, well, what if you did it backwards? What if every player started with a deck, and on your turn, the boxes got passed to you, and you put one of your cards into the box. So you have a backwards draft, a backdraft, a reverse draft. I thought, that's genius, that's brilliant, that's creative, right? And so I made up some simple little majority scoring charts, and I used a regular deck of cards, and I actually playtested this with the Calgary chapter of the Game Artisans of Canada, because we meet every Monday night, usually at a store called the Century Box. They're fantastic. Check them out if you're in Calgary. And we played just a really super simple little reverse draft to see what it would be like, and whether or not it was possible to tactically achieve majority in some of these boxes without the other players knowing or being able to do anything about it. And I made some of the lower cards have powers, negating or increasing cards or that sort of thing. This didn't work. I mean, as a system it worked, but it wasn't fun at all. It was just blah. So I could describe to you what I'm doing next, but I see my video is already up to 12.5 minutes, which is a good almost twice as long as the other vlogs I've watched. So I'm going to call this part 1 and say thank you to everybody for including me in this fantastic competition and community, and thanks for bearing with the sort of jerky start I've got going here, and I'll tell you more about where this is actually going in Volume 2. Have a good night.